When you think about cybersecurity, what comes to mind? Is it firewalls, lines of code, maybe some genius hacker in a dark room? The truth is, the biggest vulnerability, and you know what? Also the greatest defense, isn't technical at all. It's human. It's us. Today, we're going to break down why modern cybersecurity is really a team sport and how you can build a winning game plan.
So let's start with just a number, 74%. Just let that hang there for a second. In the world of cybersecurity, what could a number this huge possibly stand for?
And there it is. Nearly 3 out of every 4 data breaches involve people. We're talking about simple errors, falling for phishing scams, or maybe just misusing credentials. So you see, at its core, this isn't a technology problem, it's a people problem.
And that brings us to the real heart of this explainer. If people are at the center of the issue, why do so many organizations still act like security is only the IT department's job? It's like having a whole soccer team, but only letting the goalie play. It's time to change the way we think about defense. This right here is the crucial mindset shift. We have to start thinking of security as a team sport. It means everyone has a position to play. From the new intern who spots a weird-looking email, all the way to the CEO who sets the cultural tone, keeping the organization safe has to be everybody's responsibility.
But here's where things get kinda strange. There's this huge disconnect. On one hand, you've got execs and employees who both agree that teamwork is absolutely essential. But then, on the other hand, almost 40% of people feel like that teamwork is completely missing where they work. It's like we all know the right answer, but we're just not putting it into practice.
So, what happens when that teamwork breaks down? Well, you get silos. Where different departments operate like their own little islands. And in cybersecurity, these silos aren't just inefficient, they're incredibly dangerous. Let's dig into the real cost of that.
This really lays out the difference. A siloed defense creates massive blind spots because you can't protect what you can't see. Priorities get all jumbled, and when a crisis actually hits, the response is just chaos. A unified defense, though, is the total opposite. It gives you 360-degree visibility, creates shared goals, and means you can have a rapid, coordinated response.
And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. Just look at what happened after that massive Yahoo data breach. The analysis pointed directly to this exact problem, a fundamental breakdown in collaboration. They had world-class security pros, but the key decision-makers just didn't fully understand the risks. That is the catastrophic price of working in silos. Okay. So we've seen the problem pretty clearly. Now let's talk about the solution. How do we start winning? It all begins by building a unified defense, where every single department is an active player on the field.
So, if we go back to that idea, that nearly 3/4 of all breaches start with people, then the path forward becomes crystal clear. The single biggest opportunity we have to strengthen our defense is to empower every single person on the team.
But collaboration doesn't just empower employees, it actually protects our security experts too. Think about this number for a second, 62%. That's a direct result of the immense pressure we put on these teams when we leave them to fight the battle all alone.
Yeah, that's 62%. That's the number of organizations where security analysts are leaving because of burnout and alert fatigue. But you know what? Collaboration is a direct antidote. It spreads the workload, it speeds up response times by getting more eyes on the problem, and it lets the specialists focus on the truly critical threats instead of chasing down every minor issue. It creates a much more sustainable and effective defense.
So maybe you're convinced. You're ready to turn your organization into a championship security team. But how do you actually do it? Let's get practical and move to the playbook.
This playbook really focuses on 5 key moves. It all starts with culture. Leadership has to champion this from the very top, and you absolutely must create a blame-free environment. Then, you build the right structure, with things like cross-functional teams and open communication. Finally, you have to align security with actual business goals. But that last point is maybe the most important of all.
Fostering that blame-free environment. Look, the point is this. If an employee makes a mistake, the goal is not to point fingers. The goal is to understand why it happened so you can prevent it from happening again. This feeling of psychological safety encourages people to report issues early, which can turn a potential disaster into a learning opportunity. When you put all these plays together, you cultivate more than just a new process. You build a new culture, a real championship mindset, where security is truly a shared responsibility. It really all comes down to this. This is the mantra for modern defense. Silos leave you vulnerable. But a unified team, where everyone understands their role and works together, creates a shield that is far stronger than the sum of its parts.
And so we'll end with a question for you to take back to your team. Take a good look at your own organization's cybersecurity strategy. Are you still treating it like a one-person game? Or are you truly playing to win together?